A few years ago, I saw a video of a sea turtle with a straw up its nose. I'm sure you all remember it as well as how it made you feel. In the end, the rescuers got the straw out of the sea turtle's nose and saved its life. It really makes you think and want to make a change about the use of plastic. Plastic waste is not only overwhelming our planet, but it is harming our bodies and marine life. Today we will discuss how plastic was invented, as well as what it causes in humans and animals. Let's start at the beginning. According to Plastic Free, a book by Beth Terry, in 1909, Alexander Becklin invented the first plastic made from not natural materials. It was made of phenol and formaldehyde, both of which are derived from coal. Since it is not a natural material, it will never break down and it will be on this earth forever. I don't know about you, but those ingredients don't sound like something I would want on my plate. Although those are not necessarily the ingredients being used today, we have no idea since the U.S. doesn't require plastic manufacturers to disclose what chemicals or ingredients are in plastics. The U.S. also doesn't have the precautionary principle, which means they don't have to prove a product is safe before releasing it on the market. Chemicals in the plastics can leach out into your food and drinks. Many of these chemicals are carcinogens known to cause cancer. I remember a few years ago there was a big BPA scare. Nobody wanted to buy plastic that had BPAs in it. And then if you remember, they released a product that said BPA free on everything. Little did they know the alternative they used to replace BPA was also a carcinogen. Knowing we are exposing ourselves to these deadly chemicals, as well as our pets and children, really makes you think about whether the plastic life is worth the convenience. I highly recommend reading the book Plastic Free. It gives amazing recommendations on what to use instead of plastic packaging. Here are some of the plastics I use every day and the alternatives that I have started using. Fast food is a big one. If you're a takeout eater, you know it comes in a plastic container, comes with plastic silverware, plastic condiment packets, and straws. The girl in Plastic Free carried around her own bamboo silverware so she didn't have to use the plastic. She carried glass food containers with her so she never had to take styrofoam. Styrofoam is terrible for the environment because when it gets out, it breaks into tiny little pieces and the animals think it's food and eat it. Another terrible thing is single-use water bottles. Actually, tap water is more regulated than bottled water. In bottled water, you really don't know what you're getting. So I recommend buying a stainless steel cup and just refilling it wherever you go. I know I take my stainless steel cup to fast food places and they'll let you refill it there. Another big place is the grocery store. A big thing is bringing your own reusable bags so you don't have those plastic bags sitting around. Saying no to single-served items. I know they make macaroni, potatoes, and little plastic bowls that you can stick right in the microwave. Microwaving plastic is terrible for you, so never do that, as well as it creates more plastic waste when you're only using that once. I know some items only come in plastic, and it's impossible to not buy it. A lot of things are condiments. In this case, I recommend buying the largest size and then recycling it so that you're not creating as much little waste. Recycling is actually downcycling. So when you recycle like a plastic water bottle, it's becoming carpet. So they're always going to have to use new plastic to make those water bottles. Another thing is frozen foods. Frozen foods you have to microwave and they come in plastic trays or plastic bags, and again, that's really bad for you. Personal care. I know everything in my bathroom is made of plastic. Lush sells shampoo and conditioner bars, as well as bar soap and deodorant bars. That gets rid of about half of my plastic. You can also make your own soap and cleansers, which I know can be a lot of work, but it does save a lot of plastic. Any plastic you can cut out of your life is helping the environment. So how do you start? I know I read this book, Plastic Free, and I started collecting my plastic. When I laid it all out in front of me, a week's worth of plastic, you can look at it and see, like, I could have replaced this. There are plastic-free alternatives to a lot of the things you're using. But you are not the only one that you are helping by cutting your plastic waste. According to an article from The Economist, Only 9% of the world's plastic is recycled. So what happens to the other 91%? While most of it ends up in landfills, some of it ends up littered and some of it blows away. When plastic ends up in the river and ocean, it harms fish and other marine animals. There is the Great Pacific Garbage Patch that is 2 times the size of Texas. Sea animals mistake this plastic for food and eat it. And then when they eat it, it travels through the food chain. So technically, we're eating it as well. No matter what, somehow plastic will end up in the ocean. If you're a smoker, I bet you don't know that cigarette butts are made of plastic. So when you throw those on the ground, they're going to end up in the ocean. I even read excerpts from a book called Moby Dick by Donovan Hone about a boat in a storm spilling 28,800 bathtub toys that weren't found for 11 years. According to World Animal Protection, by 2050 there will be more plastic in the ocean than fish. Even if you cannot cut plastic out completely, I hope you think about this every time you buy plastic. Whatever deters you from buying plastic, the chemicals or the ocean life, but at least you know the risks. Plastic is endangering our environment, our bodies, and our marine life. Every piece of plastic I save makes me feel very valuable, like I am making a difference. I hope you can make a difference too.